Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. We're coming to you from our studios on South Brunny Street in a rainy morning on this Wednesday, the 4th day of March. And ladies and gentlemen, it is raining cats and dogs, whichever way you want to explain it. We're under a severe rainstorm alert right now in Troy and Pike County, and like a friend of mine who called up just a moment ago said he had never seen what he saw on TV today, the mass of rain showers right over the head of Troy, Alabama. So no need to move anywhere today. No need to get in your car and go to school. No need to do any of this until these bad weather conditions are gone. So don't plan to go to school this morning until it's time to go. They'll alert you by their system at the Troy City Schools on when to go and when to come. So right now the word is not to go until this weather is out of here. And of course, please don't go out and try to fight this storm or race to work under these conditions. And right now we're very concerned about the people that are trying to get to school. There's no need to try to get to school. There's already a hold on school because of this tremendous rainstorm that is coming through Troy. So please pay attention to all the alerts out there. And like I said, again, no real reason for you to be moving toward Troy schools because of the weather. Same way I would think at Pike Liberal Arts and our county schools, Goshen and Pike County, under heavy rainstorms are the forecast. Of course, we appreciate Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks this morning. They've got a huge sale going on right here in Troy, Alabama, as we get a call from, good morning, we're under rainstorms. How you doing?
Hi, it's not raining down at the beach.
Yeah, so it's sunny and clear?
I mean, it's definitely clear right now. It definitely rained pretty hard last night. Of course, nothing like what went on in Nashville. Definitely thoughts and prayers go out for,
They're still finding people. You're right. They had a terrible storm.
Yeah, I've been seeing posts on Facebook from friends of mine who live up there, and it looks like, it was really horrible storm that came through there, a tornado.
Okay, and of course, the vote's in for the March primary, and we've got a lot of local reports from the Dothan area. Kay Ivey was speaking to a group last night. And then our Troy Trojans, Mike, got beat again, so they ended the season with just 9 wins.
Yeah, Coach Cross has got a lot of decisions to make as far as the roster. I would imagine that he kind of regrets not parting ways with more of the guys that he kept, and he's got to bring in some guys that are going to buy into his system. Definitely got to bring in some guys that are more consistent scorers, better rebounders. When they lost the Williams kid, their size just dramatically, got smaller and smaller. I think they're starting. Yeah. Big guy was 6'6". When you lose a 6'9" guy that can shoot and rebound and block shots, that's a huge factor. And then, we mentioned Darian Adams, the kid out of Carver, who was averaging, I think, 12, 13 points a game, just kind of quits or gets kicked off the team in the middle of the season, kind of like Bernardo last year. Troy basketball is at its worst. What can we possibly say? It's about as bad as you can get, 9 and 22 is just about as bad as I can ever remember.
Yeah.
I think Coach Cross is a proven winner. Hopefully, he's going to
have to get some players, no question about it.
He's going to stay positive and hope that he can win at Troy. I'm sure he's probably thinking now, what have I got myself myself into. UT Arlington, where I won 20 games, 6 or 7 times, and had it really rolling there.
All you got to do is look at a 7,000 to 8,000 square foot house and a salary of right at $200,000 a year. Let me tell you, he's got plenty of reason to be happy where he is.
I imagine he makes more than $200,000 a year.
Well, I'm just saying 200 plus a year.
About $280 a year. I'm sure Cross makes more than Cunningham did.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We don't know how much he makes. At least I don't know. But he's well paid. Let's say that.
I'll say this. I mean, not a great night for Troy University at all. The baseball team travels to you-know-who, and when they go play UAB.
UAB.
When they play UAB in baseball,
They shrivel up, don't they?
most of the time good things don't happen. And a team that I thought was going to be dominant this year all of a sudden has now lost 4 in a row. Of course, 3 were to the number 1 team in the country. But I tell you what, it's a lot different playing on the road than playing at home.
Yeah, how bad did they get beat last night?
They got beat 5-2. Troy apparently has really horrible bullpen relief pitchers so far. It's proven on the road. I mean, lost a game there winning at Florida the first game, then lost another game. They were up 7-1. I mean, I think they have 2 pretty good starters, and then the rest are pretty mediocre, it seems like right now. So, I mean, Troy's got to find some answers. Somebody's got to come in there and get outs, and apparently they don't have that right now.
When do they play again? Do you know?
I want to say they play Alabama A&M maybe tonight or tomorrow night.
That's right. I think that's right. So we'll be watching that.
I am shocked that Tommy Tuberville beat Sessions.
Yeah, ain't that something, boy?
For him to have more votes than Jeff Sessions, who was the center of Alabama for 20 years.
Here it is, Mike. This is the reason. This is the reason right here. Auburn's going to win the football game. You remember that? Auburn. Tommy Tuberville is going to beat Sessions or Willie. This one goes into quite a race for that coveted seat. And Tommy Tuberville really put on a show last night or yesterday in the voting, and he outvoted a man that's been in Congress for what? How many years?
I mean, he was
22?
20 years up in Washington. I mean,
That's right, state senator.
This is one of the more crazier things I've ever seen in politics. I mean, you can't tell me an Alabama fan doesn't remember when he beat Alabama 6 straight, he feared the foam.
Yeah, is that the reason we shouldn't vote for him?
If you're a diehard Alabama fan, it would be extremely, extremely tough for me to vote for Tommy Tuberville. I mean, in Sessions is an Alabama graduate. You don't think there's going to be pictures of that?
So wait a minute. Are you saying this is an Alabama Auburn thing? What? What are you saying out there, son? Look here. What are you saying? This is an Alabama Auburn race. You know what? A lot of people. Look at here. You mean this Senate race is going to all evolve around Auburn and Alabama football? Here we go, Mike. Is that coming over loud and clear? War Eagle, ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Tuberville is shocking the world as he wins over Jeff Sessions in the. But now they'll go for it all, and both of those guys will be faced with the runoff. And is this thing going to turn out to be an Auburn-Alabama thing? Do you think it would?
No, there's no doubt. There are going to be campaign commercials.
Oh, no. Oh, no way.
Millions of dollars showing that picture of Tuberville in the phone. There's no doubt.
Really? Do you think it will?
Troy plays actually Alabama A&M tonight in Troy, but this game will definitely be rained out because it looks like 100% chance of rain the rest of the day in Troy.
Well, you know, they do play on an artificial surface, so.
Yeah, but they're not going to play when it's 100% chance of rain.
Yeah. I thought it would rain in Birmingham last night, and I would think they would have hoped it would rain as Troy drops their fourth consecutive game in baseball.
I tell you what, Coach Smart might regret that Florida series when it's all said and done. That confidence can go pretty quick when you get beat 3 in a row.
Yeah, no question about it. And of course, we appreciate you watching today on a stormy Wednesday. And
Troy will play Michigan State Friday in Pensacola at the Blue Wahoo Stadium.
That's right.
And then they'll turn around and play Sanford. That's another team you don't want to play, and Casey Dunn's team. And then they'll play actually a conference team in Louisiana Lafayette.
But it's not going to be considered a conference game, I don't think, Mike. I think it's going to just be considered a regular game.
I tell you what, man, Troy's schedule this year is just crazy. I mean, they play Wednesday night, or tonight, which I think will be rained out. Then they turn around and play Friday against Michigan State, Sanford on Saturday, Louisiana Lafayette on Sunday. And then they got to come right back on Tuesday night, play Riverwalk Stadium against Southern Miss.
That's right. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough week of baseball.
Pitching problems. This does not look good.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out exactly. And, of course,
I need to try to come to Troy the weekend. Well, it won't be a weekend. Actually, I wouldn't be able to come because Troy plays Arkansas on Tuesday 24th and Wednesday the 25th.
and that'd be a great game.
Arkansas's been in the College World Series back-to-back years.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be a great one. No question about it. The tornadoes killed at least 25 across Tennessee. That is terrible. These tornadoes are something, and of course they ripped through Tennessee early
It's
Tuesday.
everybody's worst nightmare. You know, it came in the middle of the night. That's what's really dangerous right there. You don't even see it coming.
And it is terrible weather out there right now. We're looking at rain like we've never seen it in a long time right here in Troy, Alabama. I don't know how many inches that have already they've already tabulated, but we'll wait for that to come in before long. Of course, it is rainy, and there's no need to go to school in this kind of weather. Stay at home until they ask you to come in. This should be a stoppage of school's traffic, and you guys are.
Kids trying to walk to school. How in the world do they do that?
I know it exactly, and believe it or not, there are kids that do have to walk to school in this kind of weather, and it's terrible, no question about it. The U.S. death toll from the new virus rises to 9, Mike. Tensions over how to contain the fast-spreading virus is...
Yeah, I took my girls to the pediatrician the other day, or I guess a couple days ago, and I was just doing a 2-year checkup for my little one, and I was talking to the doctor, and the doctor told me the masks do absolutely nothing. She said it's more just germs, like, basically, germs on your fingers, scratching your eyes, or scratching your nose. It's one of those type of things where the masks really don't prevent anything. People are, kind of uneducated when it comes to that. She said that, it's almost like a common cold. You could have the coronavirus right now. I could have the coronavirus right now. And, if you're in good health, health-wise, you might not even realize you have it.
Well, let me just say this. If you...
Little kids, their immune system, thank goodness, are able to fight it where you don't see any casualties so far with kids.
Yeah. Well, and also, Mike, you look at the common flu. There are a lot more people that die from the common flu across this nation than this, But I'm thinking that it started in China, and it still is, mostly in China.
We have vineyards in Italy, and my owner has tobacco vineyards in Italy.
Yeah, you're right.
2,700 vineyards in Italy, and it's really been devastating to the Italian communities over there. There's a lot of people that have it over there.
Yeah. Well, it's something that we've got to be concerned about, and one thing that overseas they're running into this already, especially in Japan. They were having a baseball, they have a Major League Baseball program in Japan, and they've shut it down to fans right now. They're going to play the games, but the fans are going to have to stay away because of this virus.
The biggest event in the world, you know, the Olympics could be postponed.
Yeah, that's right.
Off. I mean, it's crazy what's going on.
It really is, and hopefully, you know, this thing will slow down and turn out to be just.
Well, you want warmer weather to start coming in. That usually helps a lot as well. So I guess we'll just see what happens. You know, it's one of those type things. They said it could be around again next year too, though. So you know, they just hopefully we'll have a vaccine. You hope. You know, a lot of doctors at UAB, of course, you know, they're already coming out with you know, potential vaccines and potential treatments and stuff like that. You know, that's one of the leading hospitals for us. The coronavirus right now. I've read several articles on AL.com about it.
Yeah, no question about it. We're going to take a short break. I'm thinking we've got somebody up there. We'll be back in just a moment.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Napa Know-How. Big discounts, big selection, and really big deals. It's the big pre-owned sale. Only at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Pre-owned vehicles start at $29.95. Over 50 vehicles under $15,000. $29 down. And you can drive today or take advantage of payments starting at $99 a month. That's $29 down. And payments starting as low as $99. From Montgomery to Dothan, the best pre-owned deal are Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or online at PremierChrysler.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Hello. Will, good. Will. Did you win, Will?
Do what now?
Did you win?
I got 160,000 votes and didn't win.
Are you serious? You got 160,000 votes?
And didn't win. My opponent I had two opponents. One got 170 and one got about 80, I think.
Golly, and it won't be a...
Came in second.
Will you have a runoff?
No, they don't have runoffs, right being a runoff.
Well, I hate that, Will. I'm going to put you on hold a second. We're going to bring Mike in here. We're going to put you on hold. I reckon we got it. We got y'all on now. We got both y'all on?
Yeah, man.
And Will got you? Mike, this is unprecedented. Will Matthews. And hey, guy, somebody's got to turn this sound down up here. Don't you feel like we're in a
little bit.
Hey, come on up here and turn this down, if you will. We're going to get our sound correct in here. Yeah, turn this down in here if you don't mind. I feel like we've got turn that down if you will. I think it's making the echo. Will Matthews is on our line. Mike Amos is on our line. And look who's our guest, ladies and gentlemen. Raymond from Raymond's. There we go. Thank you. And bring us some coffee if you don't mind.
I got a cup.
Well, I know it. Well, I need me a cup, Raymond.
I should have brought you
and of course, Raymond Ledford, ladies and gentlemen, long-time Trojan and member of our community, and of course, is the godfather of the Alabama Baptist Children's Home. And look at this; they can bring the whole pot in here. Of course, he's hailed from Enterprise, Alabama.
Did you win, Will? No, I lost. I came in second. There were three of us running. There will be a runoff? No runoff. So what, the guy that did the 38,000
65.
Yeah, and of course, a total vote, what, 500,000 total vote or what?
Oh, it's more than that, because Tuberville got 290,000.
Did he win?
Oh, yeah.
270,000.
Did Tuberville win?
Yeah, Tuberville won.
I'm glad.
Yeah, Raymond Ledford is our guest on our show. We got Will Matthews and Mike Amos. Will, I'm sorry, you had been delegate for how many years in a row?
Well, I did it the last two conventions. I got elected. This time I didn't. But I've already, guess what? I'm going to the Masters. I told my daughter, if I don't get elected, I'm going to take the money I would have spent going to North Carolina, and we're going to Augusta.
That is a sad.
My streak. That's going to be 53 in a row this year.
Yeah. I'm reading in the obituary.
What about Tuberville? I mean, living in Florida now, I'm just shocked that he actually beat Sessions. I mean, as far as the amount of votes. I mean, I know it's going to a runoff, but I am just amazed. There's got to be a lot of Alabama fans that are voting for him.
Do you think this is an Auburn and Alabama thing, Will? Do you think this is an Auburn Alabama thing?
I voted for Tuberville.
I voted for him too.
I guarantee you, there's no way I could have voted for him.
I voted for him too.
I voted for him, Mike. He's the ball coach.
It's
He's
not
the ball
Alabama and
coach.
Auburn, is it?
Sessions is an Alabama graduate. I remember Fear the Bomb. I'll never forget 6 years in a row beating Alabama.
And you want so you don't want him to be representing our state, do you?
I really don't. I've met him several times, and he's a nice guy. But I am shocked. The guy that was a U.S. senator for 20 years. I know he had a falling out with Trump and everything, but I thought for sure that he would be leading. As far as votes going into the runoff, I'm shocked that Tuberville's the leader.
Wait a minute now. Are you saying that Tuberville had a run-in with Trump?
No.
No, I'm saying Sessions.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, no question about it. Yeah, that's what we want to make sure of. Because he ran on Trump's shirt tail, is that right?
Tuberville's
Tuberville did.
Trump, is a blessing from God. That's kind of what he's running on.
Oh, boy. That is saying a lot, isn't it?
It is.
I'm for the coach. I voted for him yesterday. I will vote for him again March 31st.
Yeah. Will, a good friend of mine, Raymond Ledford, who owns Raymond's Style Shop on South Brunning Street, been in cutting hair in Troy for how many years?
Around Christmas, when school gets out and for Christmas, I'll be working in Troy, Alabama 60 years.
60 years. Grab that mic right there. Just the line right there. Not that. Yeah, that right there.
Of course, we have Barry Moore on, and he's going to be in the runoff of Coleman.
No way. You mean he made the runoff?
By about 400 votes.
He beat Troy. Well, no, he beat the girl from Prattville. She almost won it. Oh, really? And Troy was fourth?
Yeah, he was fourth.
So Barry, well, congratulations to Barry, and of course, that by being on our show, that's the reason you got it set up right there.
Yeah.
Raymond's on the air now, Mike, and of course, we appreciate him.
Mike, I was looking at Sessions like he might be an impeachment vote. It might have made him mad when Trump kicked him out, or he had to leave, whatever. But I voted for Sessions every time.
Until this time.
Until this time.
I voted for Coach.
I did too. Coach will do a good job. He's a little bit bullheaded, but I guarantee you won't nobody sway him. He'll vote for Alabama and he'll vote for the United States of America. He'll even say, God bless America again.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
A great night for Alabama basketball last night, Will. They played a Vanderbilt team that was 9-20 in Tuscaloosa. Alabama was a 13-point favorite and gets beat by 9 at home by Vanderbilt.
The Vandy Commodores.
And won 9 games, and they go into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama last night.
That is something, no question about it. I want to mention, of course, Raymond Ledford is our guest, and of course, Will Matthews calling in from Ozark. Sounds like he's at McDonald's or somewhere.
Yeah.
What?
happened in the Vandy, Alabama game.
Okay.
Over 20 people were killed the night before in Nashville in a tornado.
In fact, there's 25. Our total this morning was 25.
Well, the Vanderbilt team, the coach said, I know y'all hadn't won a game in 2 months or ever how long it is, but we got all these people. By God, play your guts out tonight. And they did, and they won.
And they were the worst record in the SEC. Is that right? And Alabama loses.
They only won one SEC game.
Oh, boy. And they beat Alabama.
There's a guy named Lee that scored 38 points against Alabama.
Golly.
Guess what his first name is?
Robert?
Saban.
Saban. All right, okay.
Saban Lee.
Saban Lee.
Uh-huh. Boy. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't joined us or you're joining us late, there is a terrible, terrible rainstorm going on right now in the Troy area, and you're asked to pretty much stay at home until they use their system to get the information to you. But it is really, really bad.
Just hoping I get to Ozark before it hits Ozark.
Exactly right. And of course, right now, are you under rain in Dothan right now?
It's just sprinkling here. It's not even.
It's sprinkling.
He's at a drive-through. It's like Rick and Bubba at the
Yeah,
drive-through.
that's right. Rick and Bubba at the drive-through. What are you getting to eat, Will?
I got a little morning bun and coffee.
Well, of course, you had to come through the countryside, Raymond. Have you even opened up shop yet this morning?
Got a lady opened up, Brandy, one of my barbers, she opened up. But I came down Elm Street, and there was a lot of water on that
I
road.
know it. No
But
question about
no
it.
trees down there or anything.
That's why, though, it's so important to stay at home until all this water gets out of here, you know. Yeah. And hopefully, I can get, boy, it's just really coming down here in Troy. Raymond?
The runoff will be what, 4 weeks? March 31st, yeah. Okay. 4
Well,
weeks today.
and on the and right now, the people that were predicted to win have won. Except I don't know if Tuberville was predicted to beat Jeff Sessions, but they will be in a runoff. And the other two candidates received quite a few votes. Now the big key is, can Tuberville get those votes, or will they go to the incumbent?
Who knows?
And we'll find out. I'm sure.
Bradley Byrne had 25% of the votes, so he didn't have a lot of voters.
So Bradley Byrne, I would think.
He got 200,000. Yeah, he had 200,000 votes. So I mean, that's a lot of votes, swing votes right there. You would think out of the Mobile area that him and Sessions would have a relationship, but who knows?
You would think so. You mean there was 200,000 swing votes?
Yeah, more than that.
That is a lot.
Yeah, Roy Moore got 20,000 votes.
Yeah, he's got a little about, no question. So, and then it looks like our man from Dothan won pretty convincingly, didn't he?
Well, he's at a runoff.
Yeah, and of course he's a bright young star with plenty of money. They announced to the public, all this money they've got, and most of it is their own money. Isn't that right?
It is in his case, yeah.
Well,
Well, in a lot of these cases, a lot of these political guys have these, what they call them, not treasury, their war chest, I guess. But they just have so much money from.
yeah.
Yeah, they have so much money that people have donated to their campaigns over the years. I guess they just keep on running for different races because they can't use it for anything else, can they? They do. You're right.
Of course, the combine's going on strong also, and will be.
Combine's over now.
Well, they've got a report on all these guys in the paper today, and one of them is a guy that Marlo Davison. This is scary, Mike. He ran the 40-yard dash in 4.06. That's pretty fast, isn't it?
Nah, he ran it in 5 flat.
wait a minute, 5 flat. I'm reading the wrong thing then, evidently. But
Mario Davison, where it weighs about 320 pounds.
But when you weigh 325 pounds, 5 flat's not that bad, is it?
No, it's not bad. Hey, I'm going to load up the girls. I'll be right
All right,
back.
okay. Will Matthews is on the line with us, but my good friend here has joined us, and of course, Raymond Ledford. It's good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
Tell us what's going on, man.
Lots going on.
Yeah, of course, this is the brim is starting to, or the bass
We
is starting to
thinking
bend the bed. Is that right?
We can't get to our ponds on that blue marl clay. You know, the old prairie land, we can't reach the ponds. We can get there, but we can't come out.
Boy, can you remember more rain in any one area for such a short period of time?
Last 1980,
Yeah.
it was just like this.
Boy, it's just unreal. I don't know exactly how many inches of rain we've had this morning, but I would say 3 to 4 inches at least.
I
What do you
believe
think?
so. In my yard, I got some mud puddles.
Yeah.
And
again,
they're
we've
pretty
said it
deep.
over and over this morning, don't plan on going to school until your school says it's safe to come. And if your school's not doing something about holding you at home, something's wrong, because this is you don't need to be going to school on a day like this until this rain's gone.
A while ago when I came in, though, it had slacked right here.
Yeah, but you can just feel it though hitting that roof here, and it is really bad weather. And of course, Mike's giving us some bad news about Troy athletics. They lose in baseball and they lose in basketball. The women's basketball program is doing very well at Troy, and they'll be in conference play soon. And another thing, Mike, is while he's gone, I want to mention that Goshen will be playing under a new classification. Goshen is now 3A. They were 4A for all those years. They're now 3A and are in the same area, believe it or not, with Pike County High School. So that's some information. But this messes up your fishing, doesn't it?
Oh, when it slacks off, it'll be, and the weather warms just a little, it'll be just right.
Who loves to fish more, you or Larry Johnson?
Larry got me.
Some people fish and some people love to fish, and some people, it's a part of their life, and it's a part, other than cutting hair, fishing's part of your life, or
a
lot more than hunting, isn't that right?
Well, right now, I'm not hunting like I used to, but in fact, I hadn't deer hunted in 4 years.
Yeah.
I've been sitting out.
But do you love to brim fish or bass fish?
I fish for everything. When I was real young, I could catch a horny-head minnow with a sewing thread and a straight
I
pin.
know all about it. I used to do that.
Yeah.
I had a stream down in the gully behind my house, and we had horny heads, and we had crawfish. We had these big old blue crawfish. And like you said, you get you a little string and put it. You would like to find a worm or something to stick on it, but some of those horny heads were a foot long.
We ate them. We ate the big ones.
You ate the big ones.
You'd fish with a, 3 or 4 inch one, and then and then we'd always eat them big ones. We caught a bunch of them.
Yeah. To let you know a little bit about Raymond, Raymond grew up as a young child in Birmingham, and then was asked to get in a car one day and travel
Alabama.
From Morris, Alabama. Was asked to get in a car one day, and next thing he knew, he was in a place called Troy, Alabama. How did that make you feel that you had your home taken away from you, and you were scared?
About then, when you're about 8 years old, and everything is an adventure. Everything happens to you.
Were you excited about it, or were you afraid?
I was coming to Troy. I had 2 older brothers here, so I was going to see them. So I was pretty excited about it.
Which is located, for a lot of you folks that are just watching today, is located where the sorority houses are on Elm Street. That's where you lived.
Oh, yeah.
From, say,
1951. June
from
the 5th.
1951, you lived there until you graduated from high school. Is that right?
Left 1 year early. I moved uptown with Johnny and Pale in 1961. And
did they argue the fact that the officials out at children's home get upset when you left a year early?
Mr. Collier didn't get upset. He it kind of, put him in shock for about 2 seconds. I went in and told Mr. Collier, I said, Mr. Collier, I moved uptown with Johnny and Pale, and he said, you can't do that. I said, I've already done it. I moved all my stuff. Mr. Collier, he knew the war was fixing to start, and Raymond Ledford was fixing to lose. So he pushed back from his desk, and he said, I tell you what I'll do, Raymond. You can move uptown, live up there, but the very minute you get ready to come back, midnight, 2 a.m., 12 noon, if you get ready to come back to this Baptist home, all you got to do is come here. You get your same bed, everything. It was just like you left. And I said, thank you, Mr. Collier. I appreciate it, but I believe I was cutting hair, and Johnny and Pale.
Yeah.
I wasn't making as much money as they was, but if we went out to eat steak, we all three ate steak. We didn't,
a little bit of money was the big difference, wasn't it?
Yeah,
today in L.A., how you doing?
Mike, it's Max. How you this morning?
Max Howell calling in from Fulton, Mississippi. Max, we're getting a tremendous rainstorm here in Troy and Pike County.
I know you are. I've been watching the weather all morning.
Are y'all getting bad weather in Fulton?
No, we expect some later today and tomorrow, but it's coming across from the Gulf Coast, man.
Max.
We expect 3 to 5 inches of rain in the next 2 days.
Max Howell, of course, is a sports analyst, been in the business a long time as a coach and player, and we're glad he called. I've got Raymond Ledford on my line, Max. I would think that y'all had to get a haircut somewhere when you were at Troy. Do you remember going to Raymond's barbershop?
Yeah, but I kept mine cut so short, Mike. I didn't have to go very often.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And Billy kept his cut short, too.
Billy combed his. Did
you cut Billy's hair?
Yeah, I did.
You were scared, wasn't you?
No.
Weren't you afraid that you were going to accidentally nick him and he going to turn around and slap you?
I tell you what happened. And I was cutting his hair, and I cut a piece of his ear just about off.
Oh, no.
It was holding on by a little skin. I pulled it off. He didn't even flinch.
No way.
It was just a...
I'd been scared to death when you, Max, if I'd done that.
But I put the blood stopper on him and got him stopped from bleeding. And
God.
He never flinched. He didn't say nothing.
Did he ever come back?
Oh, yeah, he came back. We cut his hair every time, me and Faye. But he was fine as you
Hey, I can see you after that.
Oh,
with
no,
your
I
head
wasn't
shaking like my head. Shaking.
Be like the old Clint Eastwood movie, he's getting him a shave from the barber, and he said, when I get up, if you cut me, I'm going to shoot you. I'll kill you. So, though the barber shaved him when he got up, he says,
Thank you.
you wasn't nervous at all. Tell me about this. He said, well, you wasn't going to get up. He had that straight razor. Said you wasn't going to get up if I cut you.
Oh, boy. Max, of course, Raymond was born and raised out at the Alabama Baptist Children's Home. Now, when you were coaching, and you knew about the children's home in Troy, didn't you?
Absolutely.
You had heard about the name, the guy named Bobby Marlowe.
I was going to say, Bobby Marlowe was probably the most distinguished graduate that made publicity-wise. I'm sure there were many others that came through with great careers.
Well, but growing up, though, you had heard of that guy down in Troy named Bobby Marlowe. Is that right? When you were growing up at Prattville High School, is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you just one quick story. When I was in General High in Ozark, after I left Troy, that was my first coaching job. Bobby had a roofing company
this, and he was doing, this was on a Wednesday afternoon. And, of course, in those days, they used the hot tar to smear over, and then either shingled it, or in some cases, they just left the hot tar. A bucket of hot tar spilled, and Bobby caught it, and it took all the skin off his arm. You talk about Billy not flinching? Marlowe never flinched, and he was standing up there and wrapped his arm in a towel.
Bobby Marlowe, the All-American from Alabama, was in the roofing business and had tar poured on him.
Bucket of tar. He caught the bucket.
He caught the bucket of tar.
They dropped him. He caught it.
He was as tough a guy as I've ever known.
Yeah. And he was one of the great, I would have to say, he's one of the great players to ever come out of high school in the state of Alabama, wouldn't you think?
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
He was a great one, and, of course, out of the Alabama Baptist Children's Home.
Yeah. And he could have gone and done anything he wanted to do. And, he had a good career.
Yeah. You know, when you were growing up, I reckon y'all all idolized Marlowe. And would he ever come back to the home?
Oh, he'd come back by, We'd
he
see
would?
him, yeah. He'd visit homecomings, different things.
You would say that was about like Joe Namath coming home, wouldn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, it'd have been about like Joe. He was, we had several more players, Max. I don't know where you heard the story or not, but Troy High School was playing Robert E. Lee at Crampton Bowl, and the announcer, he kept talking about a Hobson fellow was so fast, and
Talking about Carl Hobson. You remember that name, don't you?
And they were talking about he was so fast, and when the game started, Wallace Hogan, he was the fullback for Troy High School, and I reckon about the third or fourth play, I don't really remember
exactly. It was early in the game.
Early in the game.
Listening to it.
But he ran right up the middle, ran right by Carl Hobson, and left him standing
about
there.
70 yards for a touchdown. I can hear Pappy Talbot right now saying, Hogan, Hogan, Hogan. I'm a little boy listening to it on the radio, just jumping up and down, and he went 70 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, but Wallace was, he got a scholarship at Alabama, but he got married his freshman year.
Yeah,
freshman year. Well, you couldn't, there was a rule you couldn't be married, so he dropped out.
I've heard over the years people say it's not fair that Charles Henderson High School and Old Troy High School gets to get those homeboys to play for them, because back when we were sleeping late, they were milking cows over at the Baptist Children's Home at 4 o'clock in the morning. Is that right?
That's right.
That was the way farms were built in those days, though. I mean,
oh yeah.
We take the farm boys off the farm, but you never got it out of them.
Yeah.
And I think Coach Bryant summarized it best. He'd go right down the road recruiting. He'd stop, see somebody plow, a young kid plowing out there. He'd ask directions. If the kid picked the plow up, pointing directions, he'd go try to sign him. Because I'm telling you, that was the epitome of just the great strength and the athletic ability that a lot of these farm kids had.
Of course, you look at this Baptist Children's Home, and I coached some of those guys. Everybody would feel sorry for them. I remember that they invited me to eat a steak supper on Thursday night one night. So Jim Tompkins was the head coach. You know Jim very well. And about 3 or 4 other coaches went over to eat with them. And the thing about it was, they fried that T-bone steak, but it was bigger than the skillet. And they'd bring it out to your table, and I said, God, that's the biggest steak I've ever seen in my life. And a few minutes later, they said, you ready for another one? Are you ready for another? I mean, they had all of, they had all the meat and everything.
Max, I've heard this story, and I told him, I said, now, there wasn't anything wrong with that country fried round steak, cube steak. But I never did see one of them big T-bones or sirloin.
I didn't know what it was. Did you?
I didn't know what they were. Ribeyes and T-bones, I never did see one of them.
And they fried it in the skillet.
But, I had several pieces of that round steak, gravy and mashed potatoes and peas. I was doing fine.
Yeah. But what would get me, though, Max, what they do, they go fishing in the afternoon, and they would get their cook. Yes, they had a cook that come in every morning about 4 or 4:30, and they would fry you. She'd fry the fish.
She'd cook our fish for breakfast.
For breakfast.
Yeah, we'd catch 100 fish, dress them, put them in the refrigerator, and maybe we was down at the barn milking the cows. We came in, took a shower, and came down and ate breakfast, and all them brim was there. We'd have butter biscuits.
Let me ask you a personal question, Max, and I want you to tell the truth. While they were down there milking those cows, some of that milk was called buttermilk. Hey, would you drink buttermilk, Max?
Man, I drink room temperature.
Oh, gosh, don't tell me. Oh, God. I say this all the time on my show. Hey, if somebody wanted to punish me, they make me drink buttermilk. That's the worst tasting stuff in the world.
You can't make, there's a couple of items to cook, Mike. You can't make cornbread without buttermilk.
Oh, yeah, well, then the cornbread, fine. I could probably, pancakes and all that, I could tolerate, but not just drinking it ice cold like Raymond.
I'll buy a quart and keep it in the fridge later, and I'll pour it in the glass a couple of
you still drink buttermilk?
Absolutely, man.
Oh, gosh. Man, oh, man, how you do that?
Hey, remember, my granddad was the first licensed vet in Alabama.
Yeah?
And we didn't have a lot of money, but we ate as good as anybody in the country.
I got you.
Everything. This is back in the late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah.
And there was nothing for him to go to a farm out there that, we'd get beans and corn and all the vegetables and a cow or a hog or whatever. And we always said my granddad was a huge.
Yeah. I got to, hold on. I'm going to bring in, I've got somebody on hold here. Hold on 1 second. On hold, put you on hold. Good morning, you're on today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey.
All right, hold on a minute. I'm going to bring you on. I got Max on, and I'm going to bring you on right here. All right, we'll do it again here. There we go. Got both of you on, don't we?
I'm right here.
Yeah, Mike Amos is also on. He's calling in from Northwest Florida, and he said it's not even raining down there, Max. Is it raining where you are, Max?
No, it's cloudy. It has rained this morning, but it's not raining right now.
Yeah, I mean, it rained last night really hard, but nothing so far today. But I think we're gonna get a lot of rain.
We got another call coming in. Let's see who we got here. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Mike, you have run out of anybody to put on your program.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? Well, we're Raymond on the program, yeah.
Slow day in Lower Alabama.
Hey, how's my sweetheart doing? How's my sweetheart doing this morning? How's she doing?
She ain't doing good, Mike. She broke her leg.
Oh, no. You tell her I love her.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I've been trying to get back to you and going to call you.
Well, you tell Granny that I love her and everybody else loves her, too.
Okay, well, you see if you can find somebody to get on there, will you, here?
I know.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
We appreciate it, my friend, and I'm going to be up there to see you before long.
Okay. Tell him about the fish that jumped in the boat.
The fish that jumped in the boat? Yeah. Has that really happened?
Oh, yeah. We was up at,
I see, Mike.
All right, well, thank you, yeah.
we was up at Copeland's Pond one night.
Go ahead.
We was up at Copeland's Pond one night, and we was frog gigging with Randy Head, and we made a round, and Larry Hagan was in the middle of the boat.
And he's a highway patrol.
He was a highway state trooper.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were making a round there, and we were pretty close to the bank. Now the light was on and everything. A 7-pound bass like to knock Larry Hagan out of the boat. It hit him right in the chest.
Jumped out of the pond?
He'd come out of the pond and hit Larry, and, Larry's a pretty tall fella.
Yeah,
He's sitting up on the seat there, and that thing hit him in the chest.
Oh, boy.
Like to knock him out of the boat.
Where were y'all at? College Pond? Or where
Copeland's.
were y'all? Copeland's Pond, okay.
Mr. Josh Copeland's pond.
Yeah.
Peter's got that pond now, but that's a fine pond. Got more crappie in it than anything, but it happened.
That's
that
where
fish,
Vernon Qualls and Mr. Stig Rosenberg used to fish in that pond, didn't they?
Rosenberg, he fished
Yeah.
in Dr. College the other day.
Mike Amos is on the line, and also Max Howell.
How big can a crappie get? Because I was seeing a friend of mine's dad and her were fishing in Grenada, Mississippi, and I've never seen crappie so big in my life than over there. It looked like
Yeah, there's a big lake over there. There's a big lake over there. That's where Phil Hall was from. Mike was from Grenada. Mary Duncan Williford.
I know, but how are there crappie so big over there?
I'm gonna tell you, it's a different breed, guys. I was waiting for y'all to finish that. When I was in Alabama, we catch crappie about the pan size, like brim, and pan fry them up, head them and gut them, and scrape them, and that's it. I moved to Mississippi. I mean, if they ain't big enough to slab out, they throw them back.
That's flam.
Crappie up here.
Yeah.
What do they weigh? I mean, they weigh like 4 pounds?
Some of them do.
So 2 to 3 pounds is a good crappie up here.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, I live out on the river, and I'm telling you, I'm in the backwater on the edge of the back. Mike, I showed you off my deck when I was down there. Well, in that area up there, these fish they migrate up and down in the river, Tennessee Tom Bigby. And this time of year, man, they catch. This is nothing for us, but for guys, they'll go in and fish all night. They'll do some catfishing, but they'll also pull in 3 or 4 crappie. We'll slab those things out. There's been enough to feed 6 or 8 people at least.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're talking to Max Howell. Yeah, how many inches of rain have we had? Do you know? How many inches of rain have we had?
In February.
Well, they said the other day on the radio down here in Florida, in the last, 50 days, in Alabama, it's rained somewhere in 49 of those days.
Yeah.
So the rain's just been unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. Right now, they say we've had over 2 inches just in the last hour or so, and it's going to get worse than that. Of course, Max is calling in from Fulton, Mississippi, which is up in northeast Mississippi, and Mike's calling down from the Gulf of Mexico, and he said it's not raining at all.
Yeah.
And Raymond, Raymond can't get to his.
Can't get to the pond through that parade of mud.
That's right. You're off on Wednesdays. Is that right?
I take Thursdays, but I've been working pretty regular here lately.
Yeah.
But you talking about the crappie now? Amy Taylor, Johnny Taylor's daughter Amy, she
Of course, she's the one that owns the Barn Restaurant.
Barn Restaurant, and her daughter's 4 or 5 years old. She caught a 4-pound, 5-ounce crappie, and I got him on my phone somewhere. I can't hardly find him. I got so many.
Yeah, well, Mike, I saw a 10-pounder come out of Crow Lake this past week, and he didn't even mount it. And I said, why not? He said it's too much egg roe in there. So you wouldn't mount one that's got egg
I
roe?
would, because that belly'd be big,
Yeah, that's right.
I'd have mounted that one
Even
for
with
sure.
the egg roll in it.
Well,
Raymond, do you still have your white deer? All his deer are white.
they bleached out from the sun. I tell them,
Yeah.
they've been there 40 years, and but we got one kind of dark one in there. Jeremiah Kendrick, my fishing partner, he killed a buck. He's got horns stick straight up, but he's a dark deer.
Yeah. Going up Crow Hill the other morning, I saw 4 of the biggest doe. Now, doe walking together, they walked right across in front of me. And then when they got to the other side, they then took off and ran, but they just walked right across the street.
Yeah.
That was unreal.
The white look.
Do you ever think that Tommy Tuberville would have a chance to be a U.S. Senator?
Oh, I think he's going to win it. And he's in a runoff now with Joe. And I think he'll bring Sponge in. He'll probably bring Trump in to speak himself because I don't think Sessions. I know he got 31% of it, but I watched the numbers all night last night, and I hope Tommy gets it. I'm a limited term guy. I think those guys ought to serve 2 terms and move on rather than making a career out of politics.
Yeah, Richard Shelby's what, 84?
Yeah, no, she's older than that, Mike. He's older than that. I would think Shelby's close to 90, maybe. It's really, really something.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got quite a crew here. Raymond, looking at me, you got to get back to the shop.
Won't be long. We just want to say a little bit about Mr. Dr. Johnny Long. A great person. He was like I said about Coach Blakeney, Johnny Long's a people person. He loves everybody he sees, and I guarantee you, Dr. Jack Hawkins was talking at his funeral the other day, and he said, Johnny Long told me I'm the best. So you're the best. But I guarantee you, Johnny Long had told many millions of people in his 94 years, you're the best.
That's right.
I'd cut his hair and I'd tell him, he'd say, you the best, Raymond. I said, no, sir, you the best, Dr. Long. You the best.
He was like that, and, if you were ever around him, he made you think you were his best friend.
Oh, yeah, you were.
Yeah.
And when he said you was the best, it'd swell you up.
Yeah, I know.
Because you done got a high compliment from a great man.
You could have there for how many years?
Ever long, and when he came to Troy, I started.
Did he change much from when he was young?
No, same hairstyle. Johnny Long would have his hair down over his ears when he come, and in later years he had his hearing aids and he covered them up a little bit, but
he had a lot of great dignity. Is that right?
Oh God, he did.
I mean, he was positive.
One of the great things he did, he hired my fishing partner, Mr. Jim Williams.
Yeah.
He hired him at Troy. I was telling him, I said, Mr. Jim, Colonel Jim over there, he's my fishing partner. Oh, I'm the one that hired him at Troy. Yeah. I said, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I fished with Mr. Jim about close to 40, 50 years. But Johnny Long, he had, I don't know, do you have any idea how many students that were band directors after they left
say at least 500
Troy University?
Became band directors. And of course, he brought the National Bandmasters Hall of Fame to Troy, and that's the only National Hall of Fame in the state of Alabama.
He carried TSU band to Washington, D.C. to the inauguration.
I think something like 5 or 6 times.
Oh, several times. He was tough.
Even a big football coach like Billy Atkins respected Johnny Long, didn't he, Max?
I'm going to tell you, we were there when he, in 65.
That's right. Your program, y'all's program, and the football program, and the band program, y'all just grew together, it looked like.
There's no doubt about it. That was one of the things Dr. Adams wanted to happen, that everywhere we went on the road to play, they paid for the band to go too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
If we flew, they used to go ride the bus, but they always had them there, and they were the center of attention. Because we compete with him, because he had them at halftime, and of course during the timeouts and all. But we tried to run the score up so attention to the band. Kind of the
No question about it.
Billy never. He knew what a great band.
Oh yeah, and how important it was to his program. The band program at halftime and before the game, and it led to a great atmosphere.
Different folks would ask Dr. Long, say, do you like so-and-so music, jazz or rock, whatever? He said, I like all music, and says, he played in symphony band. He played he'd go to places and play. All of his career, he was playing several nights a week and traveling all over the country. But he was a great man, and I'm just.
You don't take off to go to many funerals, but you went to his funeral.
Oh yeah, I did. I go to several, but.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, one of the great people. Let me tell you something. You're in the same line. Let me tell you this. Hey, let me ask you this, Max. Raymond Ledford is in his own right, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt.
When I was growing up, though, you always told me to let Pell cut my hair, though.
I know. Why'd you let Pell cut his hair?
He always cut it. Pell would get Mike every time.
Yeah.
He always cut my hair.
And Michael would sit.
I didn't get Raymond until later in life.
Oh, no.
And let me tell you something. Pale, for some reason, he must have scared Mike. You know,
No.
of course, you look at Pale, he sort of scares you. And when he gets that doggone bladed knife, you know, out to cut
That
you,
razor.
to cut around your ears.
But Mike, he cut your first haircut, Mike.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
was the first haircut you got. Pale cut it.
And,
And you stayed with him.
he would stay still for Pale, but nobody else. I don't know what the deal was.
Raymond, I got 3 and 2-year-old little girls, and they got blonde hair, and we've never even had a haircut for either one of them. When do I need to get them a haircut?
Oh, I know. Daddy won't let them pretty little girls with long hair. Daddy won't let them get a haircut.
Do you ever cut girls' hair?
I do. I cut some. I tell them back, you know, in the early days, we had some old ladies that lived on Brundage Street there, right at Love Street there.
Yeah.
But anyway, she'd let me cut her hair every time.
Yeah.
I say, Clem Bryan, Mr. Clem Bryan, he cut her hair.
Yeah.
And then he retired, and I'd cut her hair after that.
On a day like today, and of course, Mike, one day old Pale came to work. Pale used to get to work about an hour earlier than you, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So he was cutting hair way before you got there. But one morning, Mike, he decided that he wasn't going to go in. And that morning, a truck ran through, or tell us about the story.
Raven Beasley, he came by. Raven get his hair cut just as soon as Pale got there. If he got there at
That'd be 6 o'clock.
5:36, whatever, Pale had cut his hair. So Raven pulls in and he makes a swing around from my mailbox out there and comes back through and he says, Pale ain't here. I'll go get me a cup of coffee. So he got a cup of coffee. Came back at 6. Pale still wasn't there. So he said, I'll go get me and Pale a cup of coffee. And he made that swing around there and hit the front of the bricks there on the right where you come in the barber shop, and
That's where
it knocked all the glass out the side Pale would have been standing on. But I told him, I said, well, they said that'd been bad if Pale had been standing. I said, no. Raven pulled in the barber shop, coming from the south, pulled in and parked, got out and went in. Pale wouldn't have been in any danger if he'd have been there. Because Raven had come on in and got his hair cut.
Oh, boy.
He'd have just parked and got out and come in.
But, of course, Pale no longer is with us. But, you know, there was a legendary barbershop. And, of course, you cut a lot of famous people. One of your famous people was a big 6'8" guy that came in there. What was his name?
Big Jim Folsom, Governor Big Jim
You
Folsom.
cut the governor. Was you shaking when you cut it?
No, them folks like that, Big Jim, about the time he sat down, he'd close his eyes and take him a nap.
Oh, would he?
You'd cut his hair and then shampoo it.
Yeah.
But
see, back then, Max, you got a shampoo, you know, they cut, you know, with a razor, you know, and they'd get that leather thing and start popping that thing.
yeah.
Let me ask this, did you ever shake like this when you were shaving somebody's
I never have shake that bad. I'm 77 right now. I'm shaking a little bit, but not very much. I can
and
still.
y'all used to do facials and all that.
Oh, yeah, we did.
You know, used to get rid of the blackheads or whatever.
All that stuff. We give you a facial.
Do you still do that?
We hadn't done any lately, but we can
You
do
used
it.
to do the facials. Have you ever had a facial done?
When I was a kid growing up, everybody thought you had a perm, Dad. They didn't think you really had natural curly hair.
That's a true story, though. He had the curl.
I had the curl, dude. No question about it. But a traditional barbershop located here on South Brundage Street is called Raymond's.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. And let me tell you
Dan Jackson from Glenwood, he'd come up there and get his hair cut and he'd write a check and he'd say, Raymond's Beauty Boutique,
Oh,
Raymond's Hair Salon. And then they'd say, he might say Raymond's Hair Chopper. So he'd just give you anything. That Dan's a character.
You know, Raymond is quite a tradition here, Max, you know, in Troy, and has been here for such a long time, and everybody knows him. But, you know, you were born and raised at the Baptist Children's Home, and you speak very highly of the Children's Home.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Still to this day, when something happens, you're the first one that knows about it in most cases, and you're sort of the leader. And
Well,
you
Ricky,
like that detail?
Ricky Thompson and James Davis, they right in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's right.
And Jimmy Ward, Jimmy died, but
yeah.
How's
his wife doing? We were talking about her the other day.
Charlie, Jimmy's wife?
No, yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah.
No, she was.
No, she was
Nicastro. She was one of the Nicastro.
Yeah, Greta's Jimmy's wife.
The Nicastro.
They doing fine.
Let me tell you, Max. They were the running back at Charles Henderson that I played with. His name was Nicastro, and he had
Frankie and Danny.
Frankie and Danny Nicastro, and they were. Well, what descent? Italian, you would think, or what?
Oh yeah, they were.
They were Italian. They were kids that were living out of the home, and they were faster than everybody else, Max. And they lived at the Baptist Children's Home, and these guys, all these great athletes, came out of there, and it was quite a benefit for Charles Henderson to get those kind of players.
That was like a fetus.
I know.
Oh, it was. Well, a lot of folks compared it to Fort Rooker down in Ozark.
Yeah.
They got the players, and Enterprise got them. They got the players. And
Enterprise. Hey, look, I coached at Carroll High. Paul Terry was the head coach at Enterprise.
That's right.
We got all the great. We got what was left.
yes,
Yeah, that's right.
he was. I reckon he was a little closer to him, wasn't he? Or a little
but
bigger town.
the great one from Enterprise was the guy that had two of his sons that became great players at Alabama, and his name was oh gosh, no, he ran that Notre Dame box at Enterprise. What was his name? Higginbotham. Maurice Higginbotham. You ever heard of that name, Max?
Oh yeah, he was a Morrison. He was a head coach at Marion Institute when I was at Troy.
Yeah, and later on became the head coach at Livingston. He was a good football coach.
He went from there to become the head coach at Livingston. You're right. He had a great career.
And another thing about him.
Well, there's a bunch of Higginbothams. There was a coach at Tuscaloosa County.
That was his son, Mike. They played at Alabama. That was Morris Higginbotham. They came out of a little town up in North Alabama called
Carbon Hill.
Not Carbon Hill, but Carbon Hill had a great player to coming from there. Do you know his name? Cotton Clark. You remember Cotton Clark?
Yeah, okay.
He came out of Carbon Hill. Billy Richardson came out of Jasper. In that area, and the people at Enterprise get all excited about hearing that name, Maurice Higginbotham. They ran the Notre Dame box, and guess what? The coach, 40 years later, is running the Notre Dame box at Enterprise.
Raymond, do you remember Bobby Marlowe at all when you were a kid?
I do. I was 8 years old, but he'd come by, and in several years, as I grew up, he'd still come by, and they opened up. Didn't they open up the bowling alley here?
He came here with bowling
alley.
We
went up there and bowled a lot.
And let me just say this: in the history of Alabama football, Max, he'd go down as one of the all-time greats, Bobby Marlowe. And of course, he had to play both ways at Alabama. He was an All-American linebacker and an All-American running back. He was that was rare back in those days that you were All-American on offense and defense.
Yeah, but that was toward the end of the era.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
But Max, when Bobby he's running a touchdown, he'd leave everybody. One man would be between him and the goal line.
Yeah, he'd turn around and go get him with it.
How he'd run right over him. The running backs would juke somebody and sidestep him, but Bobby Marlowe ran right over.
This guy's name, there was an athletic director at Florida State when you were there, Max, Hootie Ingram.
Hootie Ingram.
We were watching a baseball game one day, and Hootie Ingram knew Johnny Williams, and I was with Johnny, and Hootie came up and sat with us and was talking ball, and I said, well, tell us about some of the guys you played with. He said, well, I played with the great Bobby Marlowe, and he said, I played safety. But he said, I didn't do anything because Marlowe would always get them. If he wouldn't get past Marlowe, he said he had it made. They would try to run the ball, and he never got to him. He said Marlowe would always get him. And he had great respect for the great Bobby Marlowe. And that Baptist Children's Home had some great athletes that came through there. James Davis was one of them, like you said.
Yeah.
And,
Gary Pruitt, James Davis.
Yeah.
But Max,
my all-time best friend, Ricky Thompson.
Oh, Ricky,
Yeah.
We'll have the spring fling. We call it the spring fling, the 18th of April, the third Saturday in April.
Yeah.
And we have about 100, 125 folks come in up at Pete Peterson's Park, and we just have a big program, barbecue and all, and we've been to it. Oh, it's been going on 25 years, longer.
Max, it's thundering outside. Can you hear? We can't even hardly talk because it's thundering outside now. We've had rain, but we had thunder, but I can hear thunder now.
Oh, yeah. Max, he's talking about the Baptist home. I said, ever since I got to Troy on June the 5th, 1951, I have led a charmed life in Troy, Alabama.
That's right.
I appreciate it.
How many of those guys that you grew up with there stayed around in Troy?
Oh, shoot, we got several folks.
Yeah,
Charles Barron.
Charles
Pale lived here, and he was.
You lived here?
I've been here the whole time, and but James Davis, he was my biker too.
And they also had pretty girls, and you'll remember this, Max. A lot of people don't, but they will once I say this. They had a maid of cotton. That was a big thing for a girl to become a maid of cotton for the state of Alabama. Well, they had one from the Baptist Children's Home. She was made of cotton. What was her name?
Mildred Nelson.
Mildred Nelson was made of cotton, and boy, that was big time.
It was. I do remember those days, Mike. That was those kind of events, in particular coming from smaller towns.
Yeah.
Kind of put those kind of towns on the map when when you actually remember. I went to Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is only University of America that redshirted Miss Americas.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were known for their Miss Americas. You're right. I would say this too, that if you went to the Alabama Baptist Children's Home and you wanted to go to college, that Howard College, the Baptist School in Birmingham, now Sanford, and Judson College, from Marion, Alabama, you could go to those kids could go there free. If they had the grades.
Yep.
And a lot of those girls, like Pat Aldridge, was in my class, and she was a noted singer, and
she
would
could
have
sing. That's right. She was, and beautiful too.
Yeah.
I told them we'd walk up to Elm Street, going to church or going to school, and we'd look up on that marquee, that Pike Theater.
Yeah, that's right.
And we looked up there, and Marilyn Monroe, Jane Russell, all them
right.
folks. But I told them, I said, we had them right there at the Alabama Baptist Children's Home. Those girls were just as good looking.
They lived at
one.
They lived on one area of the campus, and the boys lived on the others. I'm sure there was a lot of sneaking around, and a lot of marriages there, though.
Oh, some of them
married.
They did.
Yeah.
But
and then see, I had to fight them. I had to grow up going to school with them. I had to fight them all the time, man. Hey, those homeboys now, they didn't like those city boys much. And you had to fight them, man. They'd be in church. They sat on one side of the church, and the other folks sat on the other side. It was almost like they travel in a blue bus, an old blue bus, and they get out of that blue bus, and they set them over the corner like they were prisoners.
We had our spot. There was 200 of us on the right-hand side of First Baptist Church. And,
that's right.
And that was fine.
And Max, they had one of the great preachers of all time, Dr. H.T. Ammerman.
Mr. Claude Thomas Ammerman.
And he was a fabulous pastor.
I got used to him. I listened to him for several years, and I got used to him. I really could understand him, and he was a great preacher.
Yeah. Would they let y'all hold hands with the girls?
We could walk them to church.
You could walk them to church, and that was a pretty long ways there, wasn't it?
Oh, about a mile and a half.
Yeah, y'all.
But when we was.
Did any big boy ever say, move, get out of the way, I'm going to hold her hand?
No, we didn't have that happen because there'd have been a fight. But
Did you ever get in a fight?
Oh, we had several fights.
Every day?
Not every day. We got that paddle every day because we'd act up.
Boy.
They'd tighten us up, but it didn't hurt us.
Now I want you to hear this, Max. How many times did you run away?
I just ran away 4 times, and
4 times you ran away.
Farthest I got was down at Mr. Lamar Mills' house on the line down there in Crenshaw County line. We spent the night in his barn. Oh, we just traveled through the woods. We didn't go by the road. We went by the woods.
You spent the night in this guy's barn, and that's how they caught you?
Next morning, he came out, got us up, fed us breakfast, and they carried us back. Mr. E.E. Cox, he was superintendent. He'd tighten you up with that paddle.
You were going to get your fanny
Oh,
well.
yeah.
You knew you were fixing to get
you
your
had to go
fanny
see
really
Mr.
well.
Cox, yeah. But I told
like
him...
a prisoner leaving running away from prison, that he ran away from the children's home.
Just for adventure. We wasn't trying to go anywhere. Every time, that was the farthest we got.
Did you have any money?
We got caught at Barron Road and Butterneck Road. We got caught in that corner right there.
Oh, did you?
Crossed the road. We come out
Did
the
you want
woods.
to get caught?
No, we was still traveling. That was pretty good doings. You know, you walking through the woods and doing what you want.
And there were some guys
It
that
was
were big,
exciting.
strong guys that worked for the home.
Oh, yeah.
How many days? I mean, were you able to like camp? What did you
Oh,
do?
no, we didn't. One night, we'd get caught the next morning. It wasn't no.
Did y'all you ever get on a train?
We went to jump on the train, and I was running along. The train was coming, so I was running along there, and I jumped, just ran out of dirt and hit on flat of my back, knocked the breath out of me, and that stopped the train hiking. We didn't get on the train. I was laying there trying to get my breath.
Yeah.
Of course, they pull on your belt, you know, and get you back breathing.
Who were some guys that ran away with you? Thurman Brightwell?
Thurman may have. I'm not for sure, Thurman.
But
We
how
had
much money
several.
did y'all have? You have any money?
Didn't have much money, but we didn't need none. We wasn't going to a store nowhere.
You what?
No,
You had to have something to eat, though, did you?
We carried a little bit of stuff with us, biscuit or something with us.
Exactly right.
But it was an adventure. That's all that was about.
When you
Not running away.
When you saw Clint Eastwood's rendition of the big prison break, did that bring any?
No, we didn't have quite that much trouble. We just slipped off to the plum orchard, ate plums, and kept going. No, we wasn't in Alcatraz.
But yeah, go ahead.
We'd always, Mr. Cox would say, you got to go see Mr. Cox. And we went to see him about 9 o'clock that morning. He'd say, well, you know what's coming, boys. Yes, sir. Each one of us, about 4 of us run away, so each one would lay across his desk. He'd put that paddle on us, and I told him old Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, you'd see them putting books in the back of their pants and towels and all this stuff. We just laid across. We had calluses back there. We'd had so many.
Yeah, all right. Now listen, Max. I want you to hear this good. Max is known for his cooking too. He cooks a lot of fish, and you watch it up there from your salon up there. But Max, when's the last time you fried any coon or possums? When's the last time you had any possums?
That's funny you ask. I got about 2 possums. I live out in the country. I got 2 possums that sit on my back porch waiting for me to feed them. I went to the grocery store and picked up a sack of bananas yesterday. I just threw about 8 or 9 bananas out there, and I can continue by lunch and they'll be gone.
Yeah.
I don't do much possum cooking now. I do a rack.
But you're not trying to
cook the coons.
My grandmama said there's 2 things you don't cook in your house. That's a possum and chitlins.
And chili.
We always cook those out.
Max.
I'm glad you asked because when we talked about crappie, I got a big group I'm cooking for this weekend, a big fishing group, and that's what we're going to have. We're going to slap up the crappie, and we're going to have fried fish, and we'll do all the French fries and baked potatoes, and I'll do some hash browns along with baked beans and coleslaw and garlic bread, and of course up here this time of year, my folks up here love that Mississippi mud pie. That's a 3-layer chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Chocolate and pecans in each layer, and take it out of that oven and put
don't.
Coon? Do you eat coon too?
Pale could make the best coon hash of anybody.
Coon hash.
Coon hash, that was fine.
And you love that?
Oh yeah. Pale, get him a young coon, he'd make that hash.
Get him a young
But
coon.
we'd go, Max, we'd go fishing, hunting every Saturday, and we'd kill about 8 or 10 squirrels, 4 or 5 rabbits, and we'd sell our possums for $2.50. I'd buy a box of shells, you know.
Yes, sir.
So,
Who did you sell them to?
the folks on Academy Street, colored folks, they bought them,
yeah.
and then
That was a
coon, they
delicacy,
give you
wasn't
$5 for a coon,
Were they really?
$2.50 for a possum. But the only time we ever skinned a possum and fried him was when we didn't kill but 2 rabbits and 4 squirrels. We'd cook the coon and the possum in, but our old cook said, "I'll cook anything except a rattlesnake." Said, "You bring a rattlesnake in here, I'm gonna."
Have you ever eaten rattlesnake?
I have.
Oh, and listen, you skin that thing up and cut him in the backbone in like chunks and cook them basically like you do hush puppies. Oh my goodness, you can't get it from
What, rattlesnake?
That's right, rattlesnake.
Oh, boy.
Somebody told me, said the rattlesnake's better than frog legs. I said,
Well, it's about as good, Dale.
it
You know,
is good.
Julia's on their seafood platter has frog legs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But we'd go get, one night we got 60 pairs of frogs. You know,
Yeah,
60
you used to
legs.
love to get
We
frogs,
got
didn't you?
30 frogs. But anyway, they said, rattlesnake's better than frog legs. I said, if he is, he better hide because I'm going to be after him.
And I tell Raymond all the time, he said, won't you go hunt with us? I said, Raymond, I don't like to hunt deer. And by the way, if they allowed you to hunt cow, I'd go every day.
That's a good story. But I joined the Cattlemen's Association here in Pike County. Every time I go, I'll cut somebody's hair. And so I went to ate the steak supper at the Cattlemen's the other night. And they said, you got any cows? I said, no, but if I get ready for that steak, I want one standing there. I won't vote for these Democrats that want to do away with the cows. You know,
well, you remember Mr. Knox Green and Russell Gibson used to have a big squirrel supper. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, squirrel is good. If people know how to prepare it, it's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we still do that up here on the first Saturday of September.
Oh, boy.
Cook a squirrel stew.
Football season, kick off, but we always open the football season up here with a squirrel hunt. Of course, that's dove season as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The squirrel and the dove in there.
But you know, those big old fox squirrels, did you kill many of them fox squirrels?
We do, and
they're beautiful animals.
Some folks won't let you shoot them. Mr. Henry Fuquay up at on 223 up there where you turn to go to Bonnie Plant Farm. He said, I said, Mr. Henry, you want me to shoot the fox squirrel? What do you mean? Do I want you to shoot him? Says he's twice as big as that gray squirrel. He'll eat twice as many pecans. Says he'll eat the pecans, kill every one you see.
Yeah. Well, you know that's something. That's quite a story.
I mean, the only place I ever saw fox squirrels growing up in Troy was the Troy Country Club.
They had
they
that
all
for a
over
long
that
time.
club.
Yeah. That was a beautiful animal. No question about it.
They are.
Yeah, no question about it. And
I mean, don't you eat the squirrel brain? Is that what they call it?
Not no more. You know we used to eat the heads and eat the brains, but the mad cow disease, a couple of folks died from eating the squirrel heads.
Oh boy!
They caught the mad cow disease.
But
you remember how to do that? You deep fry that head and you pick it up and take a spoon and
Yeah.
pick that skull.
Oh God!
You pick that brain out.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was good.
Called brains and eggs. Is that right? My mother used to sometimes. My daddy liked them, brains and eggs. Boy, I didn't like that.
That's right.
Oh boy, I tell you. We're talking to Raymond Ledford of Raymond's Beauty Salon right here on South Frontage Street. And boy, he's cut a million hair over the days. That when are you gonna get your 1 millionth hair? You reckon how many haircuts you've
No,
given?
one man told me, said, don't you wish you'd have wrote down every haircut you cut? I said, you mean me write every one of them down? You talking about the IRS? I said, no, I didn't want to write them all down.
Let me ask
But
you,
I wrote most of them down.
yeah. Out of all the people's hair you cut, have you ever gotten any serious arguments over politics or anything like that?
No, we don't gossip, and we don't talk too much politics.
Yeah.
Because, folks get pretty heated up about politics, and,
Let me tell you some other things.
I watched many a Cubs and a Braves game there in my life.
Yeah.
He watches that a lot. But let me tell you what he's famous for. He is our county bee collector. You got a bee problem, he can catch them for you. How did you learn how to do that?
Oh, Wade Atwell, he worked with Tillery Mattress Company up on Brundy Street, and his mother and daddy worked at the home, and so he kind of picked me out and said, I need you to go help me this weekend. I'm going to cut a bee tree. I said, I'll go. So I went with him. He had me a veil and everything, and got the smoker going. He says, whenever the tree hits the ground, you run up there and smoke them bees. So I had the smoker ready. I ran up there, and I was smoking about 2 minutes. He said, whoa, you about to choke me. So I'd smoked the bees for him, got into doing it, collecting them. I'd cut the trees. And
there'd be thousands of bees.
Oh, a bunch of them.
Did you ever get bit?
Oh, yeah, I was getting a hive out at Shelby Dunn's house one morning at 6 o'clock, getting a swarm of bees, and I was adjusting my box, and I stuck my head up on it, moving the box back, and a water about this big.
Oh, no.
About big as a...
Seemed like that would have killed you.
It was bigger than a softball, fell on the back of my head. I took off running, just throwing bees like
Well,
this.
you'd love to have a picture of that, Mike.
There, I expect I got stung 100 times in about 2 seconds.
Did you swell up real bad?
Didn't I? Had a headache about skin deep.
Yeah.
I took 2 aspirins, that was gone. But I did pick out stingers for 3 solid weeks.
Oh, God.
Out of my head.
It could have killed you, it sounds like,
You don't.
But, all right, so he does that, and then...
What do you do with the honey?
Oh, we eat that honey and then give it to folks. Dr. John Crosby, we draw my beehives back several years back. And we'd get Walter Morgan, I had the beehives at his house. We'd get him a dishpan full, get Dr. Crosby a 5-gallon bucket full, cutting the comb out, and then I'd get me a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, that's delicious, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, we'd take 150 pounds off that hive every year.
He also makes canes, walking canes. Tell us about that real quick.
Yeah, I started, Walter Morgan, my buddy out in the country, one day he said, let's go cut some walking sticks. I said, Walter, you holding out on me. I've been with you 30 years, and this is the first time you mentioned walking sticks. But,
yeah. Go ahead.
But anyway, I started digging them, and Walter told Pell, says, I have created a monster, says Raymond. He's cutting these walking sticks all over the country.
And how many of them do you have in your store now? We're talking about
probably 500.
And how did you know how to do that?
And Walter showed me.
What is special about it?
Yeah, because when I start needing one,
but Walter said a slave, black slave, he taught him to dig the walking sticks.
Oh, gosh.
You got different ones. Old Sparkleberry and Winter Huckleberry, I ate them berries. That's my best. And then sumac. You see a 90-degree angle, you get it.
Okay, Max, thank you so much for calling today. I hope you enjoyed this show with Raymond as our guest.
I did. Ruby, nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you, Max.
All right, buddy. On the April 25th, a big day in your life, and that's the. It's not is it the 25th? What's the date on that? The 25th.
25th. That's 25th.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And me and Raymond will be there.
Great. I like forward to get a chance to visit with you, Raymond.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you again at 1:30 today on Today in L.A. Have a great one.
Y'all have a
Stay out of the water.